Humanity has extended out to the stars, ending in a permanent position station circling above the Earth on the wings and missiles of majestic spaceships. The journey from the skies to space, on the other hand, includes a series of lesser achievements that have demonstrated to humanity what is possible in space. Take a look at these beasts. What's good about flying? Before we start, you may have seen some of these gadgets in movies or on television. So, while we're talking, tell me around one machine you've seen that you think could make you fly. Please don't feel left out. I'll be reading all of the comments. Meanwhile, without further ado, let us get right to the subject. Flying gives you a sense of freedom, taking you away from the city's everyday bustle, and it's almost as relaxing as meditation with a dopamine surge. Since Wilbur and Oliver Wright invented the airplane, the human imagination has taken flight and has no bounds. Air travel is the safest mode of transportation, and savvy passengers choose it since it is faster and less accident-prone than other modes of transportation, thanks to competent pilots. The wonder of flight never ceases to astound, and the spectacle is made much more incredible when the planes are longer than Olympic swimming pools, heavier than the world's largest tanks, and taller than 5-story buildings. Human eyes have always been drawn to the sky. Humans have long desired wings, but since we lack them, we use airplanes as our wings. Everyone hears words like air accidents, flights, and wings. Now, let's have a look at the machines. Number 1. Drone. This is going to be our very first machine. This incredible innovation, known as an unmanned aircraft, is today considered the most promising airplane ever conceived. Drones are the first aircraft of their kind that can fly without the need for a pilot flying. Photographers used kites to take pictures from the skies before drones became popular. The students designed an ambulance drone that can contain medical supplies as well as a video and speaker, allowing it to reach an injured man swiftly and even teach them what to do. Drones are widely used by the US military. Drones are believed to make up about 30% of their fleet. Number 2. Space capsule. The majority of manned space trips are made in a space capsule rather than a flying machine. It's just a cylindrical capsule with everything needed to maintain human life in space for the length of the mission, including food, water, oxygen, radiation, and extreme cold protection. It is sent into orbit after being linked to a rocket. While in orbit, the space capsule's auxiliary components are withdrawn, and the space capsule is left to its own devices for propulsion. The capsule also has a way of communicating with the rest of the globe. The inhabited space capsule provides air, water, and nourishment. It also needs to be insulated well on the inside, with automatic temperature and pollution monitoring. Number 3. Spacecraft. A spaceship is a mechanism or vehicle that is designed to travel through space. Spacecraft are a form of an artificial satellite that are used for a wide range of applications, including communications and person and freight transportation. Except for single stage-to-orbit vehicles, all spacecraft require the assistance of a launch vehicle to reach orbit, carry a rocket. An inter- and intra-space flight occurs when a spacecraft enters space but does not gain enough energy or velocity to complete a full orbit around the Earth. Spacecraft in orbital space flights enter confined orbits around the Earth or other celestial bodies. Number 4. Spaceplane. A spacecraft airplane is an aircraft vehicle with sufficient power and speed to travel beyond upper orbit into space and safely return to Earth by land. Bombers or air-breathing propulsion systems can be used to propel them. Only a few human spacecraft have been officially deployed, with the majority of them coming from the United States. Number 5. Bomber. A buster is a plane that attacks objectives using air-to-ground armaments, torpedoes, or air-launched ballistic missiles. Bombers have the ability to strike both technical and operational objectives. Strategic targets are long-range objectives, such as adversary industrial and communication facilities. This bomber has a longer range of flight and is less maneuverable. Throughout World War I, the Germans utilized Zeppelins as fighter planes in raids on England. But they were eventually supplanted by faster biplanes, such as the Doppelganger Gotha GIV, upgraded with 4-engine Staaken RVI bombers that could carry 2 tons of bombs. Other significant belligerent countries are also developing bomber planes. Tactical targets, on the other hand, are short-range battlefield targets, necessitating the use of bombers with greater speed and mobility. Number 6. Tachycopter. The tachycopter's creators have a simple dream: to allow clients to buy tacos from their phones and have them delivered by an autonomous drum chopper. But before you get too excited about the thought of having flying tacos delivered right to your door, Keep in mind that the proposal faces a few serious roadblocks. For one thing, the government now prohibits the use of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, for commercial purposes. There would also be a lot of logistical challenges, including avoiding birds, balconies, and telephone wires, delivering food to people inside, delivering food to the proper person, and protecting tachycopters from animal attacks. Number 7. Seaplane. A seaplane is a fixed-wing seaplane with a hull that allows it to land on water, but no landing gear. It varies from a float plane in that it has a specially constructed fuselage that can float, giving the plane buoyancy. Guys, I'm not sure if you agree, but I've always believed that a versatile object is preferable to a specific object. What are your thoughts on this? Please add your opinions to the discussion in the comments area. These planes were quite popular prior to World War II, and they were among the biggest planes available at the period. As commercial airlines became more cost-effective after the war, they fell out of favor. Number 8. Float plane. A float plane is a form of aircraft that can both fly and float, similar to a seaplane. Isn't that wonderful? This plane has a hull and wings similar to a seaplane, but instead of landing on water, it has 2 floats attached to the bottom that resemble skis and aid navigation. Many island nations still rely on this plane to get to distant locations that are difficult to reach by boat. As helicopters grow increasingly widespread, their utility diminishes. Number 9. Rocket plane. It's an aircraft that, instead of a jet engine, uses rockets to fly to far higher speeds in much less time. Takeoff takes less time in space than other plane types. It's most typically utilized for no-payload flights to extremely high altitudes. Rocket aircraft can travel at far faster speeds than similar-sized jet planes, but only for a few minutes at a time before drifting back to Earth. They can fly at very high altitudes since they don't need oxygen from the environment. They're also capable of substantially faster acceleration and takeoffs. Many rocket planes may be dropped from carrier planes because takeoff from the ground may not give them enough time to reach high altitudes. Rocket aircraft were first used for pyrotechnics and humanitarian missions at sea. It can travel at 22,000 miles per hour. In the first few seconds, rockets generate enough heat to heat 85,000 houses for a day. Number 10. Jet airliner. It is a jet-powered passenger and cargo plane. It can travel long distances and reach heights of over 35,000 feet without refueling. Please have a look at some of the world's most luxurious airlines. The bulk of airlines currently use jet engines, which are fitted with high-speed safety systems and generate adequate thrust to propel large aircraft. The first jetliners used turbojet engines, which were eventually superseded by turbofan engines. Overall propulsive efficiency is also known as the percentage of mechanical energy utilized to drive the airplane. Because of kinetic energy lost to the exhaust, a jet exhaust, or a fan, it is always less than 100%. Furthermore, air density and airspeed have a big impact on propulsive efficiency. Jet engines, for example, are slower to respond. This makes takeoff and landing movements more difficult. Propeller aircraft engines, in particular, blow air over their wings during takeoff, providing more lift and a faster takeoff. Do you know that operating any of these planes requires extensive and specialized training? Piloting a new type of aircraft requires familiarity with all of the aircraft's mechanics, as well as the capacity to handle any emergency. Since these planes are so expensive, they are meticulously maintained. The discussion for today has come to an end. Thank you for sticking with us until the very end. These are just a few examples of the amazing machines that can lift you into the air. Of course, there are others you should consider as well. Let us know what you think in the comment section. I hope you gained a lot of knowledge from this video. Subscribe to our channel and turn on post alerts if you haven't already. We'll see you in our future video, so stay tuned.